Hello friends, hope you all are doing fine. Today I am going to show you how to create a camera controller class. This class will help us to move around the scene using the mouse and the keyboard. Okay, let's create a new file. We need a header file and name it as camera controller. And then we need another file. This should be a source file and the name is camera controller. Okay, let's go to the header file. Okay, let's start creating camera controller class. For this, we need mouse and keyboard classes. So let's include those headers. Okay, then the camera controller class should be extended to iMouse event handler interface, which is defined in mouse.h header file. This interface can be used to listen to 3 mouse events, but in this case we are only interested in mouse pressed and mouse move events. Okay, let's start by creating a constructor. This constructor has 3 arguments. To create camera controller class, we need a camera object and a mouse object and a keyboard object. And I am going to forward declare camera class here, but if you want you can include the header file. And then let's create the destructor. Okay, now there are 2 functions in iMouse event handler interface that we need to override. First one is on mouse button pressed function and the second one is on mouse move function. And then we need update function to be called within the game loop. And next we need to keep camera, mouse and keyboard references as attributes. And then we need a boolean variable to keep the mouse tracking status. Okay, now let's copy all the functions into the source file so then we can start implementing them. Okay, I have created method bodies of screen and then first we need to include camera.h file since we forward declared it in header file. Okay, now we need to initialize all the attributes. Initially mouse control is false. Okay, let's start on mouse button pressed function. The logic is if the left mouse button is pressed and if the mouse is not grabbed, we need to grab the mouse, otherwise we need to release the mouse. Okay, now let's implement on mouse move function. The logic is if the mouse is grabbed and when we move the mouse, we should rotate the camera around y-axis. The rotation amount is the distance of the mouse that has moved and it is multiplied by the sensitivity. The same thing goes with the pitch movement and the rotation is applied to the x-axis. Okay, now we can implement the update function. For this, we can copy and paste the already written code in the game loop. But we have to do some modifications since we need to move the camera instead of creating the model matrix. When the W key is pressed, we should move the camera forward. To do that, we can get the forward vector of the camera and we can translate it using positive amount. If the S key is pressed, we should move the camera backward. To do that, we can get the same forward vector from the camera, but this time we can apply negative translation. If the A key is pressed, we get the right vector and apply negative translation, and the D is pressed, we get the right vector and apply positive translation. Okay, now we have created camera controller class, so we can use it in our application. Okay, first of all, we should include camera controller header file here. Then we can create the camera controller object by passing camera, mouse and keyboard objects. Then we can delete all the code we used to handle the keyboard events. Instead of that code, we can call the controller.update function. Ideally, we should pass the time step to the update function, but I'm going to hardcode point 1 for the test. Okay, we have completed all the coding. Now we can test it. As you can see, I can move around the scene using mouse and keyboard. So that's all for this video, and thanks for watching.